Hi there. This is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about visceral fat causes artery disease. I'm going to contend that is more likely than cholesterol. Let me explain, and I'll show you the research. First of all, what is visceral fat? It's the fat that's in your body cavity that you accumulate because we can't turn off fat absorption, and when you eat too much of it, you're going to get it. And our ultra-processed diet full of saturated animal fat just feeds it into our blood, and we don't have any switch on and off for absorbing fat. So if you've got lots in your blood, you're going to put it into your various places, and one of the overflow places is your viscera, around your kidneys and intestine and heart and everywhere else. Okay? The problem is, compared to subcutaneous fat, which is what we don't like to look at, visceral fat is a hurricane of inflammatory cytokines. And those cytokines cause all sorts of damage to the endothelium of your arteries. And the endothelium is essentially a very thin layer of your artery that's nice and stretchy. A healthy endothelium is normal blood pressure. You get a damaged endothelium and your blood vessel starts to shrink. That's called high blood pressure. So endothelial dysfunction is another term sort of for high blood pressure. Well, if you take 43 young adults, of whom there were 18 women, and assign them the task of gaining 9 pounds over 6 weeks, that means they have to really pork it out. They have to eat. And then do an MRI of their total body subcutaneous fat and their visceral fat, and throw in their flow-mediated dilation, FMD, which is the best measure we have of how well your endothelium is working. Well, what they found was the level of subcutaneous fat, when you repeat an MRI and do a whole body MRI and look at their total fat, subcutaneous fat and visceral fat, the subcutaneous fat does not predict or correlate with any changes in flow-mediated dilation. Subcutaneous fat's harmless. Visceral fat, however, predicts it precisely. There you have it. That's a big deal. That's the core problem with coronary disease. Once you have the endothelial dysfunction, the cells lining your blood vessels that are meant to be nice and tightly linked start to pull apart, making gaps. And it's into those gaps that oxidized LDLs can get. So then having high LDLs and high cholesterol is a problem. But it wasn't the first step. The first step was the endothelial dysfunction caused by visceral fat. Which is why when you eat the Mediterranean diet and get lots and lots of greens and vegetables and cut down on your red meat, you help out your endothelium quite a lot. If you stop eating saturated fat and stop eating animal fat, you help out your endothelium even more, and it proves it to you. You can do it for yourself and figure it out. So the cholesterol becomes like the crowd at a football game. They make a lot of noise and they sort of help the team, but they aren't the main game. Reducing cholesterol with statins probably works, but it's a downstream effect. The upstream effect is lose your fat in your tummy. Get rid of the visceral fat by stop eating fat and stop eating red meat. And start getting nitric oxide so you've got lots of nitric oxide to help repair your endothelium. Start taking plasmalogen so you can rebuild those membranes. That's going to prevent you from getting coronary disease better than taking a statin. You might need to take a statin too. Not against it, just want to get to the core. This is Dr. John Whitcomb for News and Nutrition. Visceral fat damages your arteries. There you have it.